Inflation and supply chain issues are unfortunately expected to continue well into the new year, and that means both shoppers and businesses are going to experience higher prices over a longer period of time. But the food industry remains committed to supporting grocery shoppers. Now, Leslie Saracen, President and CEO of FMI, the Food Industry Association, is joining us to talk about this more. So, Leslie, how are shoppers planning to adjust their holiday plans in the face of these rising household expenses, including these grocery items?
You know, the great news is even before Halloween, we began to sense the excitement that consumers are going to have for the holidays this year. I think we're all looking forward to celebrating and in bringing back some of our traditions that perhaps fell off the wayside as we went through the pandemic. So I think excitement is high for celebrating the holidays. We are, of course, dealing with inflation on all products, including food. But I think the good news is that many shoppers feel like they have more control on their grocery shopping budgets than perhaps they do in other areas of their expenditures. And about 71% of us have already begun to think about ways that we're going to combat some of the inflation issues. And we're doing things like looking for deals, perhaps more than we did before. Seeking out substitutions for the kinds of products that we need for either as ingredients or in final products. We're buying more store brands than we might have done previously. So there are opportunities that we're taking advantage of to try to make sure that we stay within our budgets.
Well, let's talk about your new report. Do households expect to spend more this holiday season?
I think they do. In fact, 62% or so of us think that we're going to be spending more this year than we did last year. But I think it's important to keep those numbers in perspective because we're spending right now about $148 on average a week on groceries. At the height of the pandemic, we were spending about $161 a week on average. So while our expenditures are certainly up from pre-pandemic numbers, we're not spending as much on groceries as we were at the height of the pandemic. So I think it's important to keep that in mind as we go forward. Customers, I think, are dealing with some of these things by, for example, eating out less frequently, cooking more meals at home, and having more family meals at home. This is something we all learned how to do, or at least we're reminded that we know how to do during the pandemic. And I think from an economic standpoint, that learning has been very helpful as we move into this next phase of the post-pandemic era.
What tips do you have for shoppers to stretch their holiday budgets at the grocery store?
Well, I do have some advice, and I think first and foremost, we all need to plan early. In fact, I'm beginning to think now about what kinds of meals I'm going to prepare during the holidays, both at Thanksgiving and in the December holidays as well, because doing so does a couple of things for us. First of all, it helps us buy what we need and not buy what we don't need. We end up spending less money, but we also avoid wasting food that we shouldn't be wasting. So that's an important part of this. I think it's also easier for us to stick to a budget if we know what kind of meals we're going to prepare and begin to think about what ingredients we need to bring those meals to fruition. We can plan better and think about what the costs associated with that are going to be. We also can take advantage of opportunities to buy in bulk. So for products that we think we're going to need throughout the next couple of months, particularly if we were to find them on a good price early on, go ahead and buy those products. We'll have then the opportunity to have them available in our pantry whenever we need them throughout the holiday season. So planning ahead and taking advantage of the opportunities of early planning, I think, is really important. The second thing I think we can do is for those of us who might not have yet joined the loyalty programs that our local grocers provide, do it today. And also download their app. You know, the grocery industry has invested a lot of resources into technology and to making available to their customers information they need to buy smart. And so if you are a member of the loyalty program and you take advantage of the information that's available through the app, you can get access to things that are on sale, coupons that are available, special promotions that are there. It also helps us as we're budgeting to think through and be able to look up to see what the current price is of some of the items we know we're going to look for. So in addition to planning ahead, I think being part of the loyalty programs is really important as well.
Well, a lot of great advice, Leslie. Where can people go for more information or to find the full report? Because I know we just really scratched the surface here.
We did just scratch the surface, and there is a lot more detail available in the report. The report can be found at fmi.org/grocery trends. So I encourage anyone who's interested in learning more about saving money at the grocery store to take a look at the full report.